So I'm going to make sure that I record. All right. So I talked with a few coaches. This was a while back, but for some reason all of a sudden I'm like, gosh, I'm like Sunday night calls. Like I know sometimes the weekends and it's getting to be summer, but I was just thinking for me personally, I'm like, sometimes by Monday night, like I'm just like, I need to work. Like after a weekend of being gone or like whatever. And then sometimes like once it gets to Monday, I'm like, I just need to work. And so I asked a couple leaders, I'm like, hey, would Sunday night work good? And they were like, yeah, that would work really good. So we'll try this for a while. We'll kind of see how it goes. May, I know summer's kind of getting crazy. So it might even be like, hey, we're going to do a call. Hey, we're going to do a power hour. I'll give you more of a heads up from now on. I know all of a sudden it was 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh shoot, we're going to do a call at 9 tonight. But I wanted to like just kind of break this up into 2 parts. I wanted to share just a few things that I've really been doing personally since I think I was trying to figure out since really like the 8th of May is really when I like made a little shift. So I want to share some of those things, and then that way hopefully maybe that will help you a little bit too. A lot of these things I've just taken from, I'm in a group with some of the like top coaches like Lindsay Matway, Ashley Feldyson, a couple of those coaches that are just like, they're newer, but yet they're like rocking it, and they do a lot of their business on Instagram. And so a lot of those tips, like you hear, do this, but like I've kind of taken a lot of things that they've all mentioned and kind of brought it into how it works for me and like a system. So I want to share some of those things, and then hopefully some of those things maybe you can start implementing and start working in with you as well. And then talk about our coaching sneak peek that we're going to do this week. So just talk about that, some tips, some suggestions, like what you guys think might be good to do and stuff. So what I wanted to share first off is I'll kind of share like what I've been really implementing since the 8th. So like it'll be 2 weeks on Wednesday. I started looking at it on the 6th of May, so like 2 Mondays ago, and kind of put my plan to action. But then really the 8th was when I really was like, all right, get your shit together. Let's go. May has just been an off month for me. And I mean, it's excuses, whatever, but I attribute a lot of it to my back. Like when you just have to lay down like 90% of your day, like it sucks. Like it sucks the energy out of you. Yeah, I don't want to say I was depressed, but I was just like, my life sucks. I'm just going to lay here. Like it just sucks. And all of a sudden, like I woke up and I'm like, all right, you can't do that for your kids, for your business, for your coaches, for your team, like all that kind of stuff. And so I finally kind of snapped out of it, but it was because I saw a coach post that when they feel out of it, when they feel not engaged, when they don't feel like they're being successful in their business, they just lean into the vital behaviors. They're like, I don't focus on writing a blog post. I don't focus on this email. I don't focus on all these other things that seem more fun. They're like, I grind and I lean into the vitals. And I was like, yep, that's what I need to do. I need to lean into the vital behaviors, my journey, whatever that looks like, inviting, 10xing, like just upping my inviting, all those kind of things. And so it was right around the time where I think Brittany was like, hey, we should get up in the morning and do our morning thing. And what I noticed though is I was getting up on the mornings that I was getting up and I was like doing all these non-income producing activities. Like I was up and I was like, yeah, I'm up. Like this is awesome. But I was like adding people to my network, which is amazing. But I can do that with my kids sitting there watching TV. Like I was taking this precious time and I was doing the easy things because I didn't want to lean into the hard things or lean into the things that would actually move my business forward. So it was like between the 5th and the 6th, I was like, all right, get your poop in a group, figure out what activities actually matter and do those in that morning time or first thing. So even though there's some mornings where I get to bed late or I'm not up until 6 and I deal with my kids, as soon as I get that first break in the day, I have this list and those are the things I do no matter what. So whether I do them at 5:30 in the morning or I do them at 10 in the morning, it's like, instead of doing the easy stuff, I'm like, all right, do your income producing activities, do those vital behaviors and do that first. So that was one thing I want to just kind of throw out there to you is when you're even, whether it's in the morning on that Rise and Grind call or whatever time, like you're doing your set power hour, your set business hour, your set like in the cracks, I really want you to say, like, what activities am I doing? And I still catch myself sometimes like, oh, I don't want to answer my messages. Like, I just, that honestly for me is the one thing I hate. Like, that's the thing that I put off the most. That's the freaking number one income producing activity, is answering messages and getting back to people. But I hate it. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. I hate it. And so it's the one thing I put off, but I'm like, that should be the first thing I do then. If that's what I really dislike the most, that's what I should undo first. And so I took my list, my Power Hour list, I switched it up, and I actually like have invite, follow up, invite on Instagram, like all those things are the first things I do, whether that's at 5 in the morning or at 10 in the morning, whatever time like my first work block is, I'm doing those things. And so that's what I really want you to encourage you, is to have that list, like whether it's a Success Club tracker or you've kind of taken that and you have your own, or you've used one that I've given you, or you need, if you want to see an example of what I have. But it was like, if I get those things done, then by the time like my second work block comes around, I'm like, whoa, I have a lot of time. Like I have more time to do like an email or whatever it might be. So that was the one thing I wanted to make sure to teach you from my mistake, was like the income producing activities, they're not the pretty stuff. They're the unfun stuff, the unsexy, whatever you want to call it. But they're the only things that are going to move your business forward and bring you challengers, bring you Success Club points, bring you coaches, is by doing those things. And so I just had to, for my visual sake, for my mental sake, move my to-do list around, or my tracker sheet around, so that the actual activities that matter are getting done first. And I just had to tell myself, this is what you do first. Like, you don't jump to the bottom for the easy stuff, like add 10 people to your network. That's the easy stuff. I can do that right before I fall asleep. But the stuff that actually matters, moving that towards the top, okay? So just kind of switching that mindset around for me made a huge difference, because then at the end of the day, if I was tired, I could just go to bed and I didn't feel bad because I got all my invites done. I got all my follow-ups sent out, that kind of thing. So what I've been doing on Instagram, what's been working for me, and I'm going to be 1,000% honest to you, probably in the last year, six months, 9 months, whatever, every tracker sheet I had was like, invite your story views, invite your post likes, all this stuff from Instagram. Never did it. Never marked it off. Never did it. I have a Google sheet, or a Google Excel sheet, with probably like thousands of names on there for people to invite that watched my stories last year in May 2018, right? I just kept a running list. I'm like, I'll message them. Never got to it. And finally I was like, okay, Facebook hates me. Facebook sucks. I hate Facebook. Like, it doesn't like me. People don't see my stuff. People are just, I don't know. I don't know. So I go to Instagram and I'm like, okay, I have this many people watching my stories every single day. I have this many people liking my posts every single day. I have X amount of followers on Instagram. All three of those numbers are double, triple, quadruple what I have over on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, here we go. We're going to do my Facebook invites, because I'm too scared to just walk away from it completely. I'm going to talk to the people that engage on those posts. And then I really have been shifting for the last 2 weeks my focus over on Instagram. So what I've been doing is consistently every day, and if I don't do it, then I tack it on to the next day. But I've been sending out 66 messages, filling an entire notebook sheet of paper to people on Instagram, 66. And if I if I don't do it tonight, then I'll be like, all right, well, tomorrow I have to send out whatever 66 plus 66 is. That's how many I have to do tomorrow, okay? So at first it was kind of easy, because I had all these story views that I could message, right? And I'm like, hey, and if I had never talked to them before, I just send them like, thanks for viewing my stories, thanks for supporting my crazy life. It's definitely whatever, blah, blah, blah. Whatever I would normally say. And then if I've sent that to them already, I just straight out invite them. I'm like, hey, I'm setting up my May group. Do you want information? Now, you might be sitting there thinking, oh my God, 66 messages? That's crazy. I have like maybe 10 people a day respond back to me. So I always told myself, I'm like, well, if I'm sending out 66 messages, then 66 people are going to respond to me. Oh my gosh, that's insane. I can't do that. I'm one person. I have 3 kids. I can't do that. I kept telling myself that. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I maybe get 10 people that respond. or like one person that's actually like, yeah, let's chat, send me information. So 1 out of 66 are actually like, yeah, let's chat about it, let's talk about it. The other 9 are like, no thanks, you're a pyramid scheme, blah blah blah, you know, all the good stuff, right? But I'm like, well, at least I'm having conversations, at least I'm getting people responding back to me, whatever. So I go through the story views, message if I've never talked to them, like, hey, thanks for watching, I'm sure it entertains you. If not, I'm so sorry. Like, what? Just something funny, lighthearted. And then if I have, then I just send them a direct message or a direct invite. Same thing on my posts. So I go through like the last 2 days of posts. I scroll through all of the likes, and if I've never talked to them before, because sometimes when I use hashtags, like I get different people. I literally just send them like, hey, I know you're just scrolling and double tapping, but I really appreciate your support. Thanks so much. You know, have a great day. And then if I've sent them a message before, then I just send them an invite. And even if I've invited them and they didn't respond, I just invite them again. And that was one of the things in this group with all these coaches that are really on Instagram. They're like, who cares? Like, who cares if you invite them and they don't respond or they tell you you're a pyramid scheme or whatever? Like, and for me, like Instagram just feels so much less, I don't want to say less personal, but I'm not as upset if somebody's like, nah, no thanks. Like, whereas Facebook, somebody's like, oh, you know, they send me a mean message. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I take it so personally on Facebook, but Instagram, I'm like, okay, next. Like, just keep going. Like, that's fine, whatever. So the first few days, though, it was easy because I, you know, had a few posts. I had some story views. I could get 66 people easily. And then I was like, okay, now what? Like, because now it's the same people that are watching and liking. And then on one of these calls, they said, how many followers do you have? Like, message your followers. And that like blew my mind because I'm like, oh yeah, like I was so worried about who's watching my stories, who's liking on my posts. I didn't even think about the people that were following me, like whether they actually are following me to follow me or they're just there. I'm like, well, they're one of my followers. They're in my network. I'm gonna message them. And so I first started off saying like, hey, thanks for following me. Like, love to know what you'd see more of. And then I'm like, but I really don't care what they want to see more of. Like, I just want to get to the point. Like, do you want to learn more about coaching or my challenge group or not? And so I'm like, and then I just started doing that. I'm like, hey, kind of explained a little bit about my group, explained, you know, like what it is, blah, blah, blah. Like I'll show you guys the examples too. I just started inviting them. I just started going, and I just got through all my A's from this last week. I've been messaging all the A's. So I go like A, B, and I just go through, and like, obviously I kind of like, if you can tell by their picture and their name, like if they're a coach or if they're in a different like type of thing. But I've just been messaging. I've just been going, and I'm like, taking the emotion out of it and just kind of going with it. But how I've been tracking it on here is if I send them an actual invite, then I write down their handle or their name. But if I just send them like, hey, thanks for watching, I just mark like SB, so story view. Like I don't write their name. And then if they respond back and we're like talking, then I write their name down to maybe invite in like 2 weeks. But I just kind of like morphed this into what was working for me. So that's been a main focus for me, is getting out 66 messages. Like and that's just how many are on a sheet of paper. Like maybe you can only commit to 20 or 30 or whatever it is. But what I really want to encourage you to do is pick that number and then like commit to it every single day. Like don't be a Kylie who has that on their list for a year to do and then don't ever do it and then wonder like why it's not working. Like do it every single day. And I tell you, you miss one day and you make yourself do it the next year. Like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to double up, right? Like, you miss your workout, you have to double up. So I haven't really missed since then. And actually, like, the other day I had more time, so I sent out more. So that way I'm like, oh, if Sunday I don't get to it, then I'm not going to feel bad because I did more on Friday because I had more time. So whatever that is, if it's 10, if it's 20, like whatever it is, just commit to that and go through your story views, go through your posts, and then go to your followers and just kind of mark it and figure out a system that works for you. And like you could totally do that on Facebook too, just start going through your friends list. But for me, it was just like Instagram, it's like just trying something different. I just needed to try something different, and I wanted to share that with you. Another thing that I've been doing is to like grow following on Instagram. Is I've just started kind of, and I mark these pages, like I just screenshot them and keep them on a list. But I go to like one page and I will go and see like one of their last posts. And I started with people that I was following that had bigger followings too. And so I go to their last couple posts, and all their people that comment, I've been following them. And then, so I try to follow like 100 to 200 people a day. And then I've noticed that my followers like has been increasingly growing by like maybe 30-ish people a day just from doing that. So organically, like last 2 weeks, I've jumped up like 2,000 followers just from like doing this system. And then I have used the app Cleaner every 2 weeks to just go through and like unfollow the people that aren't following me back. So that's something I've been doing for the last couple weeks too. Again, like same thing. I literally like tonight I was sitting there, Kason was sitting in my lap, and I went to one of the bloggers that I was following, went to her last post, went through all the comments and just liked them, like followed them back right while Kason was sitting there. Eventually I'll add in the part where like I go to their page and engage and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I'm not there yet. I can't commit to that, but I can commit to following 200 people a day and sending out 66 messages, right? So whatever it is that you can commit to, and like, for the followers, like I do it 2 or 3 times a day, like just sit down and like try to follow. I think you can follow 50 people in an hour is what they say. But I've been trying to do that 3-4 times a day just throughout the day. Maybe you can do that once a day, like quickly on your lunch break or while you're waiting for pickup or whatever. Just doing that super quick has helped just organically kind of grow my following and things like that. So those are some of the things I've been doing just to kind of to get things growing. I also, if you have a Mac or Apple product or whatever, Andrea told me about Grids, which you can use, because I was using Flume before on my desktop for Instagram, like Messenger or DM or whatever, and I hated Flume. Like it just, and she's like, no, use Grids. So it's kind of like Messenger, but it's like an app. I think I paid $12 for it, so that way I could get Messenger and send out messages as much as possible, or without having problems or things. But that's been a huge changer for me as well too, because then I can open up Instagram on my phone. I set it up on my screen or set it up on my computer, and then I'd rather type off my computer, but yeah, I can see my list of followers. I can see my list of story views and post likes and things like that just right from my phone. So again, that's just that thing where I sit down and I commit to it and I just do it. Like there's no excuse. You just do it and have it in that order. So I wanted to share some of those things. I can share the messages that I've been sending, but honestly what I did, and I think I sent this in one of the threads, I literally just sit down and I'm like, what would I say if I was just talking to Brittany while we were walking with our kids and I was like, hey, I have this group. Do you want information? Like I just tried to make it as like personal as possible. Just like if I was actually talking to somebody in person, what would I say? And just short, sweet, to the point, get in, get out, get it done. So those are some of the things I wanted to share. And when it comes to like tracking, on this notebook or whatever, find a system that works for you. Like I've just been, it's a mess right now. Like I don't even want to try to explain to you what I've been doing. Some people circle, highlight, whatever. But for me, it's like if I write their name down, then to go back and find it. So I've just been keeping a separate list of people that respond and want information, and we're chatting and all those things. But that's what I've been doing the last 2 weeks. I will say I haven't, like now I'm in a lot of conversations with people, which was good because I was having like no conversations. I'm in the midst of conversations and things, which is good. But again, it's the numbers game, and what you lack in talent, add into those numbers. So I was like, okay, Facebook is draining me. Like it's not working. Like I'm not giving up over there, but I'm like, I have all these people on Instagram in my funnel-ish at the top. Why not just attack there and see what happens? So, but I wanted to share that. Maybe that would help you, but no matter what, biggest thing I can tell you is like, if you want to do something, like do it. Like don't say, well, I'm going to send out 10 invites on Facebook a day when I get to it, and then not do it for a year and then see what happens, right? So make that list, the things you hate to do, put them at the top and work your way down and go from there. So, all right, questions on any of that before we move into the sneak peek part? Right or wrong, just don't overthink it. And honestly, like even if I think they're a coach, sometimes I've been sending a message because I'm like, what's the worst thing they can say? Like I have people message me all the time. I just don't respond. I might creep a little bit, but even people that I have on Facebook, I've still been inviting them on Instagram because I'm like, And, you know, if people, a lot of times I haven't gotten a ton of response back. Like I said, maybe out of 66 messages, 10 message me back. But I think about myself too, like before I actually started coaching, I didn't even know that Instagram had DM. Like I didn't even know that you could send you know what I mean? So sometimes I think even if they're not, just like with Messenger too on Facebook, like if they're not coaching, sometimes I think maybe they don't even know that that's an option. So just really it's hard to take the like feelings out of it, like the hurt feelings, and just go for it. So all right, let's switch gears then and chat about the coach sneak peek. So I know I was talking to some of the leaders and I said Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday. Let me just throw out like what my thought was, and then we can kind of like everybody can unmute and we can chat and brainstorm and come up with a plan. But my thought was Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday, like just 2 days. Within those 2 days, like that outline that we did when we were doing those calls, like where we talked about, and we did like, it was like the half-hour video and we talked about all those different topics. Like within those 2 days, having posts for all of those topics go up at different times. So like you can schedule them, you can do them type them right away or post them in real time, whatever. My thought was within those 2 days, like have those posts going, and then whatever coaches are in there, just go live at some point and we can kind of figure out like, you know, I'm going to go Wednesday morning, Brittany's going to go Thursday night, like whatever. I go live and just 5-10 minutes, share your story, like how you got started with Beachbody, why you're a coach, what you love about coaching, like why you do it, you know, that type of thing, how you fit it in the cracks if you know, with your current situation, your life situation, and so on. So that was kind of my thought. And then to keep it 2 days, because I know personally for me, really anything after 2 days, by that third day, I'm like, wah, like I'm done. Like I've checked out, I'm over it. But 2 days, keep it really focused, lots of content like coming at them, because really the people that want to be in there and that really want to learn about it, like they'll read it as they go. They'll read it at night when they have time, and so on. And the people that are just like, meh, like I may be interested, they're going to look at it, they're going to not. So kind of like they say, you could say the wrong thing to the right person. You could say the right thing to the wrong person. Doesn't really matter. So that was kind of my thoughts, but I want to throw it to you guys, let you guys unmute, and see what you guys were thinking, or if you have thoughts of things you've heard on calls maybe, or if you've talked to other people that have tried different things, or if we have a preference either way for times. I know Brittany said she's can't on Wednesday. Thoughts, comments, questions? Or I'll call you out. You can type them in the chat too if you can't unmute. Erica, I see you grinning. What's your thoughts?
I don't really have anything. Not that I can think of right now anyways.
You don't have any thoughts? Is that what you said?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Like, oh, sneak peeks are so hard. They're so hard because, oh, that's okay, Brittany. You can't unmute. Let me just see what you said. Plug them into a group. No, not a call. No, I was thinking a group. Like, set up a group. I was thinking of setting it up tonight, and then, like, whatever. Maybe we should do Wednesday, Thursday. And then that way, like, you can do a post Monday. You can do a post Monday. You could do a post Tuesday. Personally, I plan on doing a post like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday, like dropping something about coaching and then just dropping the link below to join. And then that way people can join, and then not a call. No, I think just doing posts with the information, and then just if everybody that's in there can just go live sometime and just share your story. And then that way, like, we have those 2 days. But I always notice, like, from my experience, like, when we have a sneak peek, I might not have a lot of people in there those 2 days, but by, like, Friday or Saturday, like, the more you just keep talking about it, that's when people want to join. And then, you know, we'll keep the group open or whatever. And then, like, even the week after Memorial Day, if people are still interested, you could throw them in there. But then that Memorial Day, so even though it's a Monday, let's start a new round of coach training, whether I'm committing to this, whether we have one coach or we have 10 coaches. Like I say, we'll start a coach training then. Cause I do have a couple that like kind of started, kind of didn't. I definitely think like give them the link to that site that Brittany and I did where you just plugged in a bunch of like different videos and trainings. But then like, I'll kind of plan that this week too. But like that Monday, like some kind of coach training to just kind of plug them in, just like really hound in the vitals and just getting started right. And just all those kind of things. Personally, I like to create a post with a visual of the question. Yeah. Yes. And I can grab those, and those posts were all from somebody else. So what I think I'll do is I'll grab them, and then whatever post you want to do, maybe just tweak it a little bit. Like I know I got lazy and I'm like, oh, another coach wrote this. Awesome. Like I'll just copy and paste. But then I like read that back. I'm like, yeah, that's totally not how I would say it. So I'll grab those posts from one of the other groups, and then if you want to just tweak it a little bit or add a little bit and share. But I think those slides, Brittany, from that call we did a couple of times, I say we just take those, like the pyramid scheme one. Like I've been getting that a lot. Like, oh, I'm not joining you, your pyramid scheme or whatever. Like taking those topics and turning those into posts too. So perfect anytime. Yeah. And I would just say like the last post we do, or the last maybe little wrap up video, is just explaining that, like, hey, we're going to start training on Monday. Like, here's the game plan. Here we go. So, okay. All right. Let me see here. Danielle, do you have any thoughts? It's okay if you don't. It's totally, I just didn't want you to, okay. So how about this? How about I will make a Google Doc, maybe not tonight, probably tomorrow. I'll set up the group tonight and get you guys the link. But I will make a Google Doc tomorrow of like those visuals, like those pictures. Maybe I'll make some new ones, just so we can maybe spice it up a little bit, a little more like summer-like. And then like the different topics. And then you just sign up for, we'll see how many there are, and just sign up for as many as you want. I'll just take what's left, what you guys don't want to talk about or post about. And then we'll just kind of plug those in for different times to post throughout the day Wednesday, throughout the day Thursday. I'll make you guys all admin, so if you want to schedule them, you can. And then we'll just kind of figure out who can go live when and when it works for you. And then I would say, like, if you start adding people into the group, like, just welcome them into the group too, you know, like, you add somebody in on Friday, just be like, hey, Erica, this is the group I was telling you about. Welcome. Like, let me know if you have any questions. Kind of just keep creating that FOMO and stuff too. Okay. So I'll work on that Google Doc tomorrow. I'll get that to you guys. And then you can add stuff, or if you think of any other things to share about. But awesome. All right. Any other questions? All right. Good deal. I will let you guys go. I'll do two things. Tomorrow I'll share that, or I'll make that Google Doc, and then I'll also just like make a Google Doc or a screenshot of just the different invites I've been sending, just to kind of give you some examples of just what I've been trying to do on Instagram and stuff. But from my experience, and just the best thing I can tell you to do is just read what I write and then kind of like make it your own. Like, I know you hear that all the time, but I look back on some messages I sent, especially on Instagram, like to different people. I'm like, man, that's not me. Like, that's not how I talk. But other people were like, this message works great for me. And so then I would use it, and I'm like, gosh, that's not me. Like, I don't sound like that. So take what I've been sharing and like just kind of like tweak it to make it sound like you, you know? So, all right. Awesome. Have a good night, you guys. Happy Sunday. Happy week ahead. I will share all that stuff with you guys tomorrow. And then, like I said, I'm going to do for sure like a coaching post every day this week. Just kind of touching on different points, like sharing why I got started, you know, a physical benefit, an emotional one, especially like objections I've been getting from people, just kind of hitting those in my post too and stuff. So just drop that link. I can't tell you enough, like how many times, especially with coaching posts, I will get like literally maybe 2 or 3 likes on a coaching post, but I always get one person that joins and then one person in my inbox that like sends me a message about it. So, and I look back and they never liked or commented on the post at all, but like they see it and they just don't like or comment on it. So, don't get tied up with the likes and the comments and all that stuff. I know it can be like a head game sometimes, but just really, really put your story out there this week with like coaching. And honestly, like if you're a person that struggles with staying accountable and like staying on track with your fitness, with your nutrition, but because of coaching you keep showing up or you just get right back on track, like share that a ton. Whatever your story is, like reach out and really dig into that. And like, especially if you've been coaching for a while or 6 months or whatever, like who you were when you started, because you've probably changed a lot, but like people are going to really relate to that person that you were in the beginning when you got started, whether it was just to stay accountable to your fitness journey or, you know, wherever you're at along the way. So try to come up with a couple different things just to share about coaching, and just drop that link in the comments or in the post or whatever. And we'll just go from there. But I'll make you guys all admins as soon as you get in there too, so then you can add your people. And I'll probably put a question like, who invited you here? And then that way, or who would you join with or whatever, and type of thing. So, all right. All right. I will get all that done, you guys. Get that to you. And if you have questions, just let me know. Otherwise, let's have a good week. See you later.